In the heart of ancient Canaan, a shepherd named Abraham lived with his wife Sarah. They were old but deeply loved each other. God had promised them a son, and miraculously, Isaac was born. Isaac became the light of their lives, a gift from above. One day, God spoke to Abraham. He asked Abraham to do something very difficult. God asked him to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac. This was a test of Abraham's faith, the ultimate test. Would he obey even when it meant losing everything? Abraham was torn. He loved Isaac more than words could say, but he also knew that God's word was absolute. How could he disobey? The thought of sacrificing Isaac filled him with dread, but his faith in God ran deep. God's command echoed in Abraham's ears. "Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah," God said. "Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." The word struck Abraham like thunder. Sacrifice Isaac? His own son? The child of laughter and promise? It seemed impossible, unthinkable. Yet God had spoken. And Abraham, despite his trembling heart, knew he must obey. How could he explain this to Sarah? The thought of her grief, the emptiness that would consume their lives, was unbearable. But Abraham held on to the belief that God was merciful, even when his commands were difficult to comprehend. Abraham rose early the next morning. His heart was heavy, his steps leaden. He saddled his donkey and chopped wood for the offering. He told Isaac they were going on a journey, a pilgrimage to honor God. Together, they walked for 3 long days. Isaac, young and innocent, chattered about the journey, unaware of the true purpose of their destination. Abraham, each step a heavy thud in his chest, listened with a stoic face, hiding the turmoil within. As they neared Mount Moriah, Abraham felt the weight of his burden grow heavier. Yet with each step, he clung to his faith, praying for strength, for understanding, for a miracle. On the mountaintop, Abraham built an altar, a solemn place of sacrifice and devotion. With trembling hands, he bound Isaac and laid him upon the wood, his heart heavy with sorrow and confusion. Isaac, confused and scared, looked at his father with pleading eyes, searching for answers in the face of impending doom. Abraham raised the knife, his heart breaking, tears streaming down his face, each drop a testament to his inner turmoil and love for his son. But just then, an angel of the Lord called out from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" He looked up, startled and hopeful. "Do not lay a hand on the boy," the angel commanded, his voice firm and resolute. "Do not do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God. Now I know that you fear God because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son, the one you love dearly." Relief washed over Abraham like a tidal wave, his heart swelling with gratitude and reverence. He looked up and saw a ram caught in a thicket, a divine provision in his moment of need. God had provided a substitute, a symbol of mercy and redemption. With gratitude pouring from his heart, Abraham sacrificed the ram in Isaac's place, his faith and obedience rewarded. He had passed the test, his faith proven true, and his devotion to God unwavering. God spoke to Abraham once more, his voice echoing across the mountaintop. He was pleased with Abraham's unwavering obedience, his willingness to sacrifice everything for his faith. To reward Abraham's faithfulness, God renewed his covenant with him. "I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore," God promised. "Your descendants will take possession of the gates of their enemies, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me." Abraham, humbled and overwhelmed with gratitude, fell to his knees. His faith, tested in the fires of sacrifice, had emerged stronger than ever. He had proven his love for God, and in return, God had showered him with blessings beyond measure. The covenant between God and Abraham, sealed with an act of profound obedience and divine mercy, laid the foundation for Judaism and Christianity. This covenant, known as the Abrahamic covenant, carried profound promises and everlasting significance. God promised Abraham descendants as numerous as the stars, a lineage that would inherit the land of Canaan, a land flowing with milk and honey. This promise gave rise to the Israelites, the chosen people, who would carry God's message to the world. But the Abrahamic covenant extended beyond land and lineage. It held within it a promise of spiritual blessing for all nations. Through Abraham and his descendants, God's love and mercy would reach every corner of the earth. To mark this sacred pact, God established circumcision as a sign of the covenant. Every male descendant of Abraham was to be circumcised, a physical reminder of the spiritual bond between God and his chosen people. This act, performed on the 8th day of a boy's life, served as a visible symbol of the covenant, passed down from generation to generation. It was a testament to God's faithfulness and a reminder of the promises he made to Abraham and his descendants. Circumcision became a defining ritual in Judaism, a tangible connection to their forefathers, and a pledge to uphold their end of the covenant by following God's laws and living righteous lives. The enduring impact of Abraham's legacy. The story of Abraham's sacrifice and the Abrahamic covenant reverberates through millennia, shaping religious beliefs and inspiring countless individuals. It teaches us about faith, obedience, and the boundless mercy of God. Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his son, though ultimately spared, demonstrates the depth of faith required to follow God's will, even when it seems impossible or painful. It highlights the struggle between human love and divine command. The story also underscores God's infinite mercy. He provides a way out, a ram to take Isaac's place, demonstrating that he desires not blind sacrifice but a heart surrendered to his will. The covenant, renewed and strengthened through this trial, forms the bedrock of faith for millions across the globe. Abraham in the hearts of millions. For Jews, Abraham is the founding father, the patriarch who answered God's call and forged a covenant that continues to bind them to their faith. His story is a reminder of God's faithfulness and the importance of upholding the Torah, the law given to Moses, a descendant of Abraham. Christians see Abraham's faith as a prefigurement of Jesus Christ, the ultimate sacrifice. Just as Abraham was willing to offer his son, God offered his own son, Jesus, as a sacrifice for the sins of humanity. The covenant between God and Abraham is not just an isolated episode, but reveals God's initiative in grace, his commitment to redemption, and his plan for a people through whom he would bring about his purposes for the whole world. Lessons from Abraham's trial. The story of Abraham's test offers timeless lessons for people of all faiths, transcending generations and cultures. It teaches us about the importance of trusting in God's plan, even when it seems unclear or challenging, urging us to have faith in the unseen. It reminds us that true faith requires sacrifice, a willingness to surrender our desires to the will of a higher power, demonstrating our commitment and devotion. Moreover, it highlights the transformative power of obedience, showing how following divine guidance can lead to profound personal growth. Through his willingness to follow God's command, Abraham's faith was deepened, his relationship with God strengthened, and his character refined. His story reminds us that obedience, though it may seem difficult at times, brings blessings and draws us closer to the divine, enriching our spiritual journey. The Abrahamic covenant, a testament to God's faithfulness and enduring love, continues to inspire hope and provide guidance for millions, serving as a beacon of light. It reminds us that we are all connected through a shared spiritual heritage, bound by a covenant of love and mercy that transcends time and culture, uniting us in our faith. A timeless testament to faith. The story of Abraham's sacrifice remains a cornerstone of faith for billions around the world, transcending generations and cultures. It reminds us that faith is not passive acceptance, but active trust, a willingness to walk into the unknown with courage and conviction, even when the path is fraught with uncertainty and peril. It teaches us that God tests our faith not to punish us, but to refine us, to draw us closer to Him, molding our character and strengthening our resolve. And it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, even when faced with unimaginable challenges, God's mercy and love are always present, ready to lift us up and guide us towards His divine light, offering solace and hope. The Abrahamic covenant, a beacon of hope for humanity, continues to illuminate the path towards a more just and compassionate world, reminding us that we are all children of Abraham, bound by a shared spiritual heritage and called to be vessels of God's love and grace, spreading kindness and understanding wherever we go.